Okay, and today we do the same thing we do every Monday night on the search for a dream car. Okay, apparently I must answer questions first. Questions, which I may have the answer hidden for somewhere in my paperwork, but all right. Okay. I don't think I have any car. I have one car camped out front, I think. I have a whole bunch of scrap to get rid of. Get rid of this as quickly as we can because 94 pages of scrap to get through. Do wish there was a way to like mass, basically like bulk scrap stuff. I didn't actually notice before that different bits of scrap are worth different amounts. Most of them are only worth 3, but there are some bits that are worth more than that. Now, when I'm actually rebuilding a car for myself, I may actually use the scrap on the rebuild. Make a car that's, I don't know if it'll make the car worth more. I don't know that it does anything else for the car. I just realized my mic was getting tangled up in or my headphone wire was getting tangled up in the mic. So every time I moved my head, it was basically trying to pull the mic away from my mouth. Yeah, like tires are worth quite a bit more than just a regular bit. Same with the seat. Not that I got it. Oh, that window's apparently worth a ton. I wonder if it's based off of what the part value is. Still so many pages of this to go through. That's why I'm just kind of tapping my way through it all. Unless something of actual value comes up. Just basically discard most of the stuff. Because I've got way more of it than basically to carefully go try to get the best value out of each one would just take too much. Oh. Well, let's do that. Well, nice to know that I had exactly what I wanted. I just wasn't smart enough to actually look and read everything. Yeah, they have an auto scrap feature. Nice. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't have a car on premise anywhere. This is a poorly laid out shop. Trying to drive up here to then immediately turn into a paint bay in the diagnostic bay. So you're not going to make it up the stairs in a car. That is a bad setup. Okay, well we do have one car here. You have a Aston Martin, which desperately needs a new paint color. But before we do that, we're going to go... Yeah, actually let's go to the car dealership, see if we can find anything we like there. Still looking for one of two specific cars, but we'll take up anything that is cool enough. Like, I am a fan of the Aston Martins. The car is in perfect status. How much would it be to buy one of these? 20 million. Which honestly probably is what it would cost. I would not be surprised if that cost you that much to get a McLaren. And yeah, that's it. Nothing in here I want to buy. Hey Michael, how are you doing? I am doing pretty good. Temperature in Texas today, I'm going to guess with around 55. I know you've had some cold days in the last little bit here. Definitely colder than 55, but 55 seems like a reasonable temperature. So I think it is still been here about 20-25 degrees Fahrenheit here. So we've got a old rusted out Datsun. Don't care what the bidding goes. I have looked way too long for this car. I don't care if Juan tries to outbid me. He's not getting it. All right. It's cost me $23,000, which is probably more than what the car's really worth. But I don't care. That was the car I've been looking for a while, so we finally have it on 77 degrees. That's actually pretty warm. In fact, that's slightly warmer than I would like to be. Yeah, I am definitely glad that you're feeling better, Mila girl. Being sick sucks. All right, first things first, let's take this to the car wash and yep, I heard. Juan feels betrayed and stabbed in the back. Okay, let's start pulling things off. Take out the interior. Sorry, what is like 2 Skittle bags? I feel like I missed something. You'd have to ask Mini One why he was feeling betrayed. Yeah, $25,000 for a car or a bag of Skittles. Hard to tell which is the better deal. Yeah, we'll see what the car is worth when I'm done putting together. If I upgrade all the parts, it might actually be worth more than what I paid for it. But it's one of those, I don't really care what the cost of the car is, because when you're sitting with a bank account of 25, yeah, 20, like almost 26 million, spending $25,000 on an old car is worth it. I mean, if I was a billionaire, I would probably buy one of these cars and spend a couple $100,000 on getting it perfectly restored. I mean, what else would I do with my money? Yeah, but according to you, Milo Girl, a lot of people are pushing for a ban. Oh, need to take out the tie rod end first, and then the suspension can come out. That'll have to come up from the top, that's fine. We'll lower the car again once we've got the suspension all out. Say Michael does make a good point. He is bribing the right people with Skittles. Say whenever there's a conspiracy going on, you gotta follow the Skittles. Okay, so with this, most of the suspension will be out. Should also remove the engine and transmission before, or sorry, not the, should remove the transmission, starter and transmission before we lower it. But then after that, everything else is going to come out from the top. Yeah, Mike, I did not empty that before I removed that. I just realized I've lowered it, but I have not taken out all of the, like I didn't drain the engine oil when it was up. I'm gonna have to raise it to drain the engine oil. Everything's rusty for right now, but soon we'll be putting in shiny new parts. Shiny new parts for a shiny new car. I mean, it'll be a shiny car. Guess it won't really be a new car. Best we can do is shiny. I don't want to join parts, I want to separate parts. So I'm pretty sure a mod can put someone in a timeout. I might be wrong, because as the stream, I don't think I've ever tried putting someone in a timeout as a mod. Shep's just watching from her box. Right, that's not how to use it like so. Okay, and we've drained out the oil. That can go back. This can go back down. Let's bring this over to bay 1. And let's also bring over the engine lift and get that engine out of there. Okay, so this car should have no parts in it now. And we are right. The car is completely stripped down. Let's go see if we can't repair some of the body parts. Would I unban you if Milo bans you? Absolutely. I will not stand idly by while there is abuse of power and abandon my my support of Free the Skittle. Yeah, so I started a new Valheim game and then went, hey, let's see how this world is, and it was definitely one that had planes on the main continent. Not close enough to be a problem, but I definitely did find it funny that didn't have swamp, but I did have plains. Oh, that's right. The mirrors don't go up there. The mirrors go up here. All right, time to start adding things to our shopping list. Okay, so let's go body shopping. So we need a left headlight, a hood, right headlight. I mean, it's not really a cursed world. It's not like the swamp is like close to the spawning point, or there's no mountain right next to the spawning point. It's still a safe area right around where you spawn. Which means I get to choose whether I want to go with planes, but it was definitely, I'm like, oh, there are planes in the starting area. Yeah, I've never had ocean I've never had sea serpents trying to attack me on basically on my mainland. That is a uniquely Shep experience. Okay, so we've got our body together. Let's get this to the body shop. Okay, so what colors do we get from the body shop? So we've got we've got a couple options in orange. This is quite a nice car in orange. I like it. We also have some nice yellows. But this car actually also, like, this is one of the few cars. I'm not normally a fan of cars in green, but this is a good looking car in green. One of the few cars that I would not actually get in white in real life. And you also have a really nice blue. I feel like the blue just isn't quite as nice as the green. And also this sort of like coppery brown is it's not a super common color for the car, but common enough. And I do like it. Or the slime green. I don't think I've ever actually seen one in the wild in this color, but I do like it. And then we've got a nice metallic red. Milo Gorilla is voting for orange. So if we back off on some of these, basically I'm trying to go for a very, like, sort of a bronzes orange. See if I can find something that I really like. I think I want it a little less. I want to keep saturation high. I think I want to drop the brightness down a little bit. Yeah, I think I like this color. Very sort of like brassy orange. little bit more red in that. Not too much more, but a little bit more. And let's get that metallic back up. I think that might be just a touch too much red. Whatever, if I dislike the color later. Then I am going to, yeah, if I just decide, I can always just decide to repaint it later. So this is the color we're going to go with. I think that's a huge improvement over the blue that it came in originally. Alright, so let's move it back up onto the left. Now it's been painted, I actually have a question for myself. Can I upgrade body parts? Can body parts be improved from baseline? No, it appears that body parts cannot be. Okay, well, that is fine. Say the world may never know why James is banned from skills, but we do know. There was originally a reason given. This is not a mystery. Okay, so we have the engine on the stand, but we need to... Oh, we are rotating it the opposite direction from what I thought. I did go the right way the first time. So you say that word, obvious, but I don't think you know what it means. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm wrong. But I have my suspicions. So my current theory is that Milo Girl is giant. That's why she thinks that everything is mini. So if I'm mini James, then all the things around me that are not mini would be giant things, but I don't have giant things. Milo Girl just has mini everything, so that means that Milo is probably the giant one. See, size is all relative. Because everything around you is mini, but only because you're big. You're a normal size for you. So that's interesting. The head goes around the timing chain. So this timing chain needs to get dropped through that bit in the head. Normally you can have that front timing cover completely off. There's part of this that you can't remove. So the chain would actually just need to be dropped through. Wouldn't be a huge deal, but it would make this engine just a little bit less convenient to work on than most other engines. Okay, so that's I think that was the exhaust off. No, this is the exhaust coming off right now. That was the intake coming off. Yeah, I agree with Michael here. Of course they're normal sized for a Giant. Okay, so we have our intake and exhaust off. Now, what am I missing on taking off? Oh, this is all just part of... No, that's not part of the head, but the cam needed to be removed first. Oh, they're going to make me remove the individual rockers here, aren't they? Dastardly. Those are some interesting... They're not really rocker arms because they're not being pivoted in the middle. Instead, they have a spring that is holding them tight, that's holding tension, so it's going to keep the clearance out. And so they're going to, basically they're pivoting off their end rather than their middle, so I would hesitate to call it a rocker arm. So they're not rocking, they're just going to pivot. Yeah, Milo girl, what size of house do you live in? Do you live in a mini house? So this is very important stuff now. I'm going to continue going with Michael's theory. You live in a warehouse, which is a normal mini-sized house to you. But you said you're normal sized. When asked, you said you're not mini. So I think you're changing your story, Milo girl. See, it's not a big mini warehouse. It's a normal-sized mini warehouse. Or a normal mini-sized Milo. Alright, there's still something on... Oh, oil filter. There. Now that all comes off. Time to see what we can all repair. Yep, you are normal mini-sized in a normal mini-sized house for a giant. It's also clear to me now. They see one is so mini, and I am also so mini, so that means at least to us, you would be a giant. To a big giant, you would be a mini person, but to a mini person, you would be a giant. I think you're making that up. If a giant told me that a giant couldn't do something to try to prove that they were not a giant, I don't know that I would believe the giant. That would mean that in comparison to us, you are a giant. We have one giant Milo. I mean, I'm so mini that mini giant blossom looks giant to me. Now, a lot of these parts are not going to be worth upgrading. Now, is LEB a typo? Is that supposed to be pounds, or is LEB something I'm not aware of? I'm also confused about where you put that comma. Because normally that comma should be after the 4. It should be 14 and then 30, or 14 comma 3 zeros, not 1 comma 4 and 3 zeros. You've got too many numbers behind the comma. Hey Nuclear Salmon, how are you doing? Okay, we're just done repairing all the parts. Then there is going to have to be some upgrading. I've got so many parts. All right. So this is increasing the parts value of it, but it is not increasing performance, which is to be expected. But this is going to be the first car that we are keeping for ourselves, so we're going to try to upgrade as much of it as we can. Alright, so I need 6 upgraded spark plugs. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we've got rod caps to upgrade. Uh oh. The game's frozen up on me. So I love how quickly you find emojis for everyone's name. Alright. Well, the game is crashing out on me at the moment, so let's see. Let's get that back launching. And see what we lost. Okay. Loading back in and we'll see what we've lost. So I'm standing out here. Oh no, I've lost the entire car. It all just never happened. It was a dream. Well, this sucks. Found my dream car and it's vanished on me. Alright, well, I guess we once again get looking for it. I should have hit save after I got my dream car. I didn't think about the game's pretty reliable. I don't think I've had it crash on me like that before. Alright, so let's start. It's gonna probably cost us a lot. Because there's Shep bidding against me. We got Krim bidding against me. Apparently Krim really wants this, oh, there's Jess. And Shep again. Oh. Krim and Shep want the car, apparently, as Jess, Krim, and Shep all want the car. Stop bidding, Shep. There, I outbid Shep and Krim. Well, at least this time I'm not being outbid by Jess, Krim, and Shep. There. Less than 100. Alright. Well, speaking of Reese's Cups, while we're going back to the garage, I will grab my bag of Reese's Minis and eat some of them. Yeah, this is another one of those mid-rear engine cars where all the stuff is in the back here. This car can probably get moved to parking. Same with this. I'm not going to have time to work on these for a little while now. So this gets moved on the car lift, and then we're going to take a moment and we're going to save the game. And then we're going to try our luck. Let's go to the junkyard, see if we can find... I found the dream car I wanted. Don't want to give up on it yet. Yes. Now all I need to have is some Skittle water to water. Hey, wait. No, this is not the car. This is the Toyota. Just for a second there, I thought I found the Datsun I was looking for. No such luck. But yeah, all I need is some Skittle water to wash down the greases with, and that'd be just perfect. Yes, there is. All about those mini wrenches. I mean, as far as the Shep here is the most reliable witness, and Shep has not seen the Skittle water. Shep has not seen me eat Skittles. I'm thinking it's one of those of if you can't prove the crime, you have to let me go. Innocent until proven guilty. Yep, Milo girl, you getting sick because I stressed you out so much with the Skittle war? I mean, I agree. Starting any mini Reese's Cups is the only way to do it. She got it for cheaper than expected. We will take that. Alright, still I'm really looking for a Datsun. I may have to give up on it. Alright. I do think it is a neat feature having your Steam friends basically bid against you in the game. Alright, so there we have the... Oh no, this is actually... So never mind, Yeah, I already have a special edition of the car, so now I've got two special edition versions of the car. Kind of makes me want to have the non-special edition. Well, we'll just move this one to parking then. Let's hop back to the junkyard and the auction and just see. So there'll be an entire stream of not actually fixing a car, but just running around looking for a car. But at least I found a dream car and I saved. Doesn't mean I can't lose it, but it certainly makes it a lot less likely that I'll lose it. This has got to be, yeah, that's a knockoff Nissan. This is a Supra. Some interesting cars here, but none of them are things I am looking for. Yeah, it's the least fun Corvette. Okay, well, let's check out the auction one more time, and then we'll give up on that and start restoring our Lamborghini. We tried. All right. So this car is definitely not in bad condition, so we should be able to save a lot of the parts on this. No, not a lot of rusted parts on here. That's okay. Once we put it together, we'll make sure there's no damaged parts at all. Everything will go together as high performance as possible and in as perfect condition as we can make it. It's kind of nice not having to spray everything with penetrating oil to get it apart. So many good high quality parts. I don't imagine this car would actually have a front subframe. There's no engine up here, so there's no reason that a subframe would have to be built in. Of course, it's full wishbone suspension front and rear. Wishbone suspension is not commonly done in lower end cars because it is very expensive. You'll basically get front wishbone if you're lucky, and that is it. But in a high-end performance car, getting double wishbone suspension front rear is not uncommon at all. Okay, so we've got all of the suspension apart. Now we've got 2 fuel tanks. Actually, I wonder, does this car actually have, does the Lamborghini have 2 fuel tanks? Is that why that's put in there like that? I just don't know. So I'm glad at least I don't have to drain the fluid out of the transmission, but I have to drain the fluid out of just about everything else before I take it apart. So let's get the oil draining out. That oil even looks pretty new. Oh, it still has some parts in low. Actually, no. Of course, it's going to be low condition parts at this point. Yeah, most of the stuff. So this car is in 90% good condition. We could have just honestly left it as is and have a good drivable car. We would have still ended up ripping a ring out just to make it 100% instead. But this was a car that could have been driven without repairing a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, this may have some magic 80s oil in it. Which is honestly not a, like, that is actually the sort of condition you'd find cars like this in a lot. Is in really good, basically people don't buy cars like this to drive them a lot. They buy cars like this for the status. So they don't get a lot of miles on them, so they actually hold up well. Like every hour of driving a Lamborghini is going to be incredibly expensive because they are not built to last, they are built to perform. But people also don't put the same level of wear that they would on something like a Honda Civic that gets driven every day. Okay, so now we have the engine out. Okay, all of that stuff's out apart. Time to pull off the... Oh, that rear wing is actually just part of it. Now, is there not a front fender part to this? I feel like there's got to be some body part I'm not seeing that needs to be removed still. But let's take a look. Car stats. Nope, there is nothing left on the car. All right. Well, let's take stuff apart. Got both rear and front suspension taken apart on this, as well as tires from the front and rear. Okay, so there's nothing more to separate there, and this should also be the last tire getting pulled apart. Yeah, and then we should be able to repair the brake pads. Not that they need a lot of repairing. Why am I not getting the option to... I should have an engine in my inventory. Yep, I've got the full engine in my inventory. I'm not getting the option to put the engine on the engine stand. Alright, well, we already know what this engine comes apart like because we have taken apart this engine before. This is the engine that we see in the McLarens. I'm assuming this is probably the only V12 that the games came with originally. I was definitely very confused for a moment. I didn't realize that that was Giant Milo, and I was like, who is Michael talking to? Yes. Mini normal giant size Milo. So many little pieces to take apart. Yes, but a normal mini-sized Milo to mini-me would be a giant Milo. Because if you're normal size but also mini, then you need to be giant to offset the mini. I don't know, Michael. Are we able to fight a two-front war? This seems risky. I wonder, is this a two-piece water pump? Is that what's going on? I wonder what they call that. So the last part we took off there was the water pump. Oh, so the other bit's the thermostat. So basically that's where it's sending coolant out to the engine from there. So it's essentially two pieces instead of one piece from where the water pump is to where the engine is, or to where it goes into the block. See, but when you're fighting a war as a mini person, you can basically fight with guerrilla tactics. Doesn't matter if you're fighting a lot of enemies and bigger enemies when you are too small to be easily targeted, and you can just hide. And you can decide when you want to fight and when it's important to run away. Hey, but you have to be able to find us before you can step on us. And your feet would have to be really giant to be able to step on us reliably. Which would be totally possible if you are, in fact, giant. But if you're not giant, then I don't think you can do it. The mini versus giant war rages on still. Say much like the Skittle War, I doubt it'll ever come to an end. See, but that's just how size works, Milo. To a mini thing, of course you're a giant. I spent it the other way than I meant, but that's fine. I agree with Shep. The ant has no quarrel with the boots. Man, I'm going to side with Mike on that one. He has effectively proven that Milo is giant. Say, normal mini size just seems like a lot of words to use when you could just say giant. So at least with this, all the repairs are going so quickly. This is really nice. Now, I have to say, I don't really care for those rims, so I think I'll look for replacement. All right, there you have it, Michael. You're going to have to just quote the first 3 words of that. Milo Girl saying, "I am giant." The rest of the context of the quote doesn't matter, I don't think. say, well, Milo girl, that's the fact that you deleted the message doesn't mean that it's not that it wasn't still there. They're still there. There's proof. I have to go back and get a screenshot of the undeleted message. I think this way the saying goes is you know you found the truth when someone doesn't want you to look any further. All is fair in love and war. We're draining Milo girl's battery. And Milo's battery is limited because I think it is a normal sized battery for a giant Milo. See, that's the problem. You have a mini battery for a giant sized Milo. Of course it's going to drain. Okay, there, we're almost done repairing up all the engine parts. Repairs are certainly a lot easier when all this stuff is like 15% worn at the worst. Don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have anything in the warehouse. Alright, well, time to go and upgrade some parts. Now we can just scrap anything that is below 100%. We have no interest in any parts that are more or less worn out. Now it looks like maybe there is not. Oh no, there was. There's the engine block. So we'll upgrade that. And the heads. And the exhaust manifolds while we're at it. Although these are parts I would have expected to see add a performance increase. But they don't seem to. Well, we need more scrap than we have. But we did not doing with the crankshaft. So we'll just leave that as is for now. Let's put on the body panels. Oh yes, I see. All right, you have a good night, Milo. There, I think I have asked for all the things I need. So, but why are the headlights not here? The other stuff's all here. Taillights are not here. Headlights are not here. I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, the body parts I'm looking for don't seem to actually quite be here. Because the parts they want to give me would be for the regular version of this car, not the special edition. How interesting. So yeah, these are going to be headlights, but they're not going to be the pop-up. Or these are going to be pop-up headlights, not the headlights I need. Now, is there just a different version of this car? I wouldn't think so. I don't know. All right, well, I'm gonna look on the internet and see if I can find an answer to that problem. Yeah, it's so weird. Normally, if there's like a special edition of a car, it would give you multiple options for it rather than not let you get the parts you need, but I don't know. I've never dealt with this before. Well, let's see. What car do I know has a special edition that should have different parts on it? I feel like the Nissan, actually, where is the, right here. Here's where they are. So they're not in the regular body, they are in the special area. Interesting. Alright, well, problem solved. I don't know why there's two separate body shops, like, that you can buy from. But, either way. Then we bring this to the paint shop. Alright, and what color do we want for this car? Well, we've got a bunch of yellows and oranges as options. Personally, I feel like this is a car that deserves a vibrant orange. think we'll go with something right about that. Maybe take another look at our brightness, whether we want something perhaps just a touch darker. Whatever pearl this is supposed to have, I don't see it. Actually, let's look at the livery options. So the paint job options for the special edition are not super exciting. Could give it racing stripes, but I think we'll just leave this as a simple color. All right, let's paint that. And we'll move it back into the shop. Now this is going to live there for a while because I'm going to be slowly upgrading the engine as I get the ability to do so. In fact, I think I'll actually take the engine off the stand. And we'll build it inside the car so that I'm not taking up space. Okay. Well, I think we will probably call the stream there, but yes, we've successfully found the dream car. Now it's just a case of actually getting it finished building. But thank you for tuning in. If you are watching this later, well, I hope you have a good night, good morning, or good afternoon, whenever this finds you, and we'll catch you guys all later.